guys, welcome back to 7 Miles North Music, Art, and Stories. And I'm going to tell you another story today, but I'm going to kind of, if you can look behind me here, this is the art part. This is some of the art my wife is working on right now. And there's a large painting back there also. And there's a small one back there you can see just barely. And I'm going to show you a few other paintings here a little bit later, but that's actually the one on my right here is actually one that I painted, and I do paint. I haven't painted in years, but I have painted some. But my wife is really a pretty good artist. My wife Robbie, and we work on this channel. I write. I do a lot of writing, and she does a lot of typing, and she puts all my thoughts and my words for my lyrics to a lot of songs that I've written, and she takes care of all that. And heck, if you guys get the opportunity to go to our channel there on YouTube and like and subscribe, and if you would listen to some of the music, and I think you might find some there you'll like. And heck, I appreciate you being here and everything. But I'm going to take you back to this would be about 1965, I believe. We were there from early '64 in Germany to about late part of 1966, may have been even the early part of '67, and then we left Germany and went to Fort Knox. My father being a lifetime military man, a lifer as they used to say, and that's where I spent my youth, moving all back and forth wherever my dad was stationed at. That's where we landed. But anyway, had a couple of stories that I've already shared that went on in Germany, and this one's about a park and a tower we found, me and a group of boys. And what we used to like to do was generally on a Saturday morning, and weather being good, and during the summer, or when during the year when the weather was nice, we'd get out and we'd just basically a group of 4, 5, 6, 7 of us, and we'd pick a direction, just this way, that way, whichever way. And this is the direction we'd walk, and we'd spend several hours walking, and we'd generally find us an orchard or to place in some trees, and might even steal a cherry or an apple. And just not confessing to anything, but we might. And then a lot of fun was to find a field with a freshly cut hay, and they would stack that like the old school. They'd have it out in the huge stacks out in the field. Well, there's no place better to play King of the Mountain than on a fresh cut stack of hay. And I apologize to the fine German folks who we might have done a little bit of damage to a couple of haystacks, and I didn't tear nothing up, but we might have. But anyway, on this Saturday, we pointed and found us a direction to go, and off we headed. I'm sure we had packed our little, like general, we had our, some sandwiches and K rations and our canteens filled with water, and off we'd go. And because none of us had any money, and there wasn't any place to stop and buy anything. So if you're gonna get hungry, you better have it on you, or you were going to just get hungry. So off we'd go, and like I said, we'd just pick a direction. Well, this time we picked a direction, and we walked for several hours, and we'd traveled some distance, and we found a haystack. And I remember playing on that haystack, and we either got tired of it or might have seen somebody coming and decided we might need to move on. And anyway, we kept on going and walked a pretty good, pretty good ways past that wheat field, and we had a ravine, and kind of a hill, and it kind of dipped down really, really rapidly. But we could see off the top of this, we could look out, and probably 3/4 of a mile, maybe a mile away, we could see this beautifully. This black mass of trees that were just dark, dark forest. You're talking about dark forest. But we could see right over the top of it because we were up elevated pretty good, and we could tell that in the, kind of towards the center of this conglomerate, this park, there was a tower, an old stone tower that probably it was 3 to 4 stories tall. Wow, an old castle. let's go check this out. So off we walked, and it took us probably 20 minutes of diddling around like a group, and I believe that best I can remember there were 5 of us that day. And I'm sure we'd have to pick up a rock and throw a rock at something because we that was one of our things that we like to do. And we worked our way down and found our way to the kind of an opening. There was a pathway that led into this park, and when we get there, you can see all the way down through this park. You can see that probably 150 yards or so there was this tower in the center. So here we go. We start working our way down there and doing what we do, and laughing, playing, messing around, and we one of the guys, and I don't remember who it was, but thought he had seen something move in the trees. So we all stopped, and we're looking over these trees. Now you could look. These trees were planted so perfectly that you could see down through them. I mean, they were like stacked in there, like into this, and you could see light at the other end. So I mean, they were pretty uniform. But the base of these trees probably wasn't, hell, this is a long time ago. I have a hard time remembering exactly, but these trees were probably 12 inches, maybe 14 inches around, not, super large pine style. I don't know exactly what the style of trees, but they were more in the line of like a pine tree, and they were probably about 40 feet tall. But dark, oh man, dark up when you're looking down through there and seeing that light at the other end, it was dark. And if they saw something, it was going to be nearly impossible for this, whatever they thought they saw, a shadow or whatever, that this been able to hide behind. These trees weren't large enough. I mean, I'm a a fatter old man now than I was back then, but my old pot Billy would have been sticking out on one side of that tree. So I mean, you couldn't really, a grown person wouldn't have. Well, we stopped, and I'm sure well, I know we did. We picked up rocks, and we threw rocks and tried, if there's something down there, and it's like, come on, guys, there's probably not, not much there. And so we spent a little bit of time there, and, all right, you probably didn't see anything. It's probably, a bird or something flapping its wings and went through there, and you thought you saw something. So off we started, kept on walking. This is kind of in the back of your mind, and we walked. We might have been halfway on down towards this old rock tower, and we had 2 of the guys then on the same side. It was always off to our left as we're walking, walking up when we were heading east, and there was hey man, I saw it too. There was something darted. It moved between the trees, and then it kind of darted its head out, and it was about like 8 or 9 trees down, and we picked up some more rocks, and we threw some rocks. Now, forgive me for not, but we were all probably about, well, I was probably 11, and so we're probably from 12 to 10, and this age group of 5 guys. So we're, throwing our rocks, and, both of them, nah, man, I saw something. Wasn't no bird, wasn't it? There was movement. Well, that was, pretty strange, but none of us were, of course, going to bravely walk down into these trees and go see what was, darting in and out of these. No, it ain't happening. But the thrill of moving on to the tower, to the Soapstone, we just kept on going, and gave this a little bit, and kind of blew that off. We walked on down there. We're probably maybe 50 yards from this tower, and there were these windows were like slits, more slits than they were window, but they were probably about as, looking at me here, they're probably about my shoulders. So you had, I believe there were 3 of them, and then down below, and there could have been just 2. But down below, there were a set of really large door. I mean, extremely large. And when I'm thinking probably was a carriage door where they could have pulled in a carriage, and I don't know that. But that's kind of what my thinking was. But that door was shut. The windows were open because we could see from a distance, we could see that there was a slit of light coming in from the other side, so we knew that, these were open. So we're walking a little bit on a little bit, and I don't know if it was movement. I don't know if it was. I can't remember exactly what triggered us, but everybody kind of come to screeching halt, and whoever saw it first spoke up, and look at the second window. And we're looking at that second window, and you can't see any light anymore, and you can see a dark figure. Now this is probably before noon. I mean, we hadn't stopped and had our little snacks yet. I mean, this is early in the day, and so this ain't some nighttime story that no, we were young and we were out in the middle of the day, and we're all kind of mesmerized, like what in the heck? And we're thinking back, we weren't seeing any more light. Whatever this was blocking the light from the backside. Well, in a blink of an eye, that I want to say a wisp of smoke or whatever it just was gone. But it wound up in the top floor, and now we can see it at the upper. And we're all like, what? We're basically a bunch of kids, kind of now. We're kind of frozen, and like I said, it's been nighttime. I mean, we'd already been long gone, but it's middle of the day, and we're trying to think, is there somebody, and I think, one of the guys, hey, somebody's trying to play a trick. But, then somebody says, well, how in the heck did they get from there up to there? And, bang, and they're, and all of us, we were all, a bunch of young little athletes, and we were all really, really pretty fit back in the day. And we knew we could, no how, get up there and do that quickly. But what triggered us then next was while we're transfixed on this upper window now that's being blocked, we hear this, I can't hardly explain it, but not really a creak, but what it was when that large door swung all the way back, I imagine, and it hit on the ends of its hinges. And it swung open, and gosh, we didn't see a thing, but it was that was the second that whatever was up there, whatever started off on the second, wound up at the top. We wasn't sure, and nobody looked back up to see if it wasn't now at the bottom. And we exited, I do mean pronto. We turned around, and I mean we ran. And we ran, and I wrote a song and a story about it, about how we ran till your dadgum lungs burned. But I never wanted to get out of any places as fast as I wanted to get out of there. Now, what it was, I can't tell you, but I don't think it's humanly possible for whoever it was that was darting up there, up and down those. I don't think so. It couldn't be done. What was in the woods? Now, I don't know. I never saw anything in the woods, but kind of a coincidence. Did it trigger our little minds? Maybe, but I'm telling you, there was something in the deadgum windows. It moved. It left its shadow, and it was dark. We didn't no features. Never saw any feature of any kind. It was just the blackness that filled the window and shot up to the top. Now, this place, it was built for a purpose, and I've looked online, and this was around Bad Nauheim, Germany, and if there was anybody who was ever in Germany, in the Friedberg, Bad Nauheim area, that's where my dad was stationed, was in Friedberg, and our military housing was in Bad Nauheim, and this was out probably an hour and a half, 2 hours outside of Bad Nauheim. I don't know. I've looked online, tried to find. I think I found a tower that kind of matched its description, but this was a tower that I do believe was built years and years ago. And was it harboring a lost soul of some sort? I don't know. But I tell you what, it was really, really frightening, and it really, really scared the bejesus out of me. And we all ran like a Dickens. And again, if there, hey, I can't remember guys' names because I moved so many times and had a lot of different friends. But if you were in Germany, in Bad Nauheim, and you happen across this on the YouTube, and man, please message on give me a chat on there. I'd appreciate it. And this is kind of started me off on kind of enjoying the thrill of it being scared. And I have to admit that this became kind of and I enjoyed it. Let's just put it that way. I wound up putting myself in a couple of positions, and I'll tell some more stories about what I wound up into in a later date. But yeah, there was something in that old stone tower, and what it was, black, and it filled the window, and these slits were, like I said, my shoulder length and nearly as tall as I am, so they were large openings, and it voided the light. I mean, it was there. It just, in the mood of the park, this whole park thing changed. I mean, it was, and it may be the trigger, the fear, the whatever, but I remember when we first saw the shadow, about how becoming so uneasy and so unsettling, like we had stumbled upon the right. We were there at the right time, the right moment. Maybe there was a repeat of something that's played out, I don't 100 times or 1,000 times, or through the ages. I don't know. I'll kind of leave that to everybody's mind. But yeah, it was a really thrilling. And hey, I want to thank everybody for stopping by and listening. And well, I'm going to make some more videos in another date, and I appreciate you watching. And again, 7 Miles North, and music, art, and stories. And me and my wife Robbie, we enjoy doing this. We've got plenty of time. We're both retired, and I'm getting to write and getting to hear a lot of. I started writing in the late '90s, and man, my wife hauled my writings over every move we ever made, and I've got literally boxes and boxes of things I've written. And putting that to music has been man, I've enjoyed the heck out of it, because I wrote as writing songs, and songs that I thought I'd never hear, and never, but through the apps, the AI, and through Suno, and through Open Art, we've been able to make some videos, which is really, really fun to do, and we really enjoy it. And I get a real kick out of hearing my words, and some of them are pretty good. Some of them, well, hey, you be the judge. Thank you for listening, and like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thank y'all. Have a blessed day. God bless.